everybody. It is May 4th, 2010. I'm Sonic Sons, and it's been a while. Oh, wow, a lot of stuff has happened in, I think it's been just under 3 months since my last post on my main Sonic Sons YouTube channel. And I've been behind in a bunch of other type things. My book, for instance, hasn't been updated, at least as far as online is concerned. And as far as mostly in general is concerned, hasn't been updated in like 2 months. I'm behind on my Supersonic Freedom blog. I am up to date on my themanjapan.net blog. That's cool. But a lot of stuff has not been getting done. I could blame this partially on the fact that I moved to Japan. That's sort of a change up there, right? But I also feel guilty for these various things that have gone unaccomplished. And that's going to be my topic for this video, is gaps and guilt. It's something a long-running pattern with me. Something I'm actually better with now than I used to be. My book, for instance, I mentioned, I came up with a character like in high school and wrote like half a story, and then, I don't know, a year or two later wrote like a couple stories for a class, and then like a year later wrote a couple more stories, like, you know, really, really slow on my work there. And it's not because I have something like better that I was doing exactly. I love the story, and yet what is this gap wherein stuff does not get done? I point you in the direction of a Supersonic Freedom post I did entitled "Important Things Are Important." And it's true, all these very simple ideas don't necessarily get across into the human brain. Sometimes we neglect what our own actual priorities are. I mean, it's one thing, you know, to neglect something that sort of deserves to be neglected, even if perhaps people may think otherwise. I have neglected my scholastic endeavors in many ways. Not completely, I'm not failing or anything, but like, you know, I could have done better, but like, it's fine. I don't care. I'm about to graduate, you know, all I need to do is finish my thesis. That's cool. But when it's something like my book that I love doing, and my YouTube stuff I love doing, you know, and all that, how do we manage to have giant gaps of time go by? Now, one might note the other thing, that when X, Y, and Z are not being accomplished, it's possible that you were accomplishing other things. I mean, like, I've spent a lot of time recently biking around in Tokyo here, which A, is exercise, woo, something I, like, never do, except now that I'm here, hey, I have a bicycle and such. And I, like, you know, practicing my Japanese, basically no matter what I do, because, I mean, if I'm out in the world, they speak Japanese out there, you know. Something like that, so I've been accomplishing some things that way, have I? Yes, yes. And I've at least thought about some of these other projects and stuff, and blah, blah, blah. So it's hard to judge exactly how much have I been accomplishing in these last couple months or something. It is very hard to judge. I'll say one thing, though. That in these big gaps that occur, guilt creeps in, doesn't it? When you want to do something, or you feel you ought to do something. It really should be because you want to do something, you're doing it, but you feel guilty that it's not done. And I'll tell you this, absolute laziness and not caring about accomplishment will obviously get you nowhere. Feeling guilty may kind of get you somewhere. You might feel guilty enough to, okay, finally get around to do something. On the other hand, though, guilt can prevent you from doing the thing. Because the entire topic of whatever X is that you want to accomplish becomes imbued with this negative feeling. Just to approach it mentally is like this negativity. And you're like, and you think about something else, and you do something else, and then you just go weeks without even thinking about the thing necessarily, right? Because you want to avoid the guilt. So that doesn't help. Guilt is sort of a toss-up whether like it can help you or not, or nah. You know, then you feel like if it's been like X amount of time, well, man, you know, my next update on the website or my next such and such had better be really good to make up for that lost time. And obviously that just screws itself over, right? Because then, oh man, to make it really good, I need to spend even more time. And then just when you spend even more time goes by making it, then you're like, oh wait, now it needs to be even better. It needs to be... Honestly, I think maybe the video game developer Valve has this problem, which is why they spend so much time making games. Possibly you haven't heard of them. That's okay. But guilt, though, absolute laziness will clearly get you nowhere. Feeling guilty might kind of get you somewhere. It's ambiguous. Better than that, though, is the simple intention to do something. Don't feel guilty. Dropped a coin. Don't! Don't bother with that. There's a better way. It's not between laziness and guilt, you know. There's just, okay, I'm going to do X now. I've decided, it doesn't matter. If you've, like, wasted lots of time and you didn't get X done, what does that mean? What is that? We should not do X? No. We should sit around and feel guilty about X? No. Just do it. You have to address one's own emotions, you know, brain patterns and stuff first. And be like, okay, the guilt, there's a pretty good chance of actually just tripping you up here, making things worse. Put that aside. Be like, do I want to do X? Yes, I do. Okay? The fact that I've been in a non-X type pattern doesn't mean I have to stay that way. You don't treat yourself like you are a spectator. Like, oh look, there I go on a downward curve. That's you you're looking at. You know that, right? You could just, okay, upward curve now. Let's change it. All this time went by doing nothing. Okay, I have an idea. I have just an idea. How about we do something? Hey. Don't feel guilty. And don't, you know, crazy rush yourself and get all stressed. That's another form of guilt. Just be like, okay, this is good. Well, you know, I've always wanted to do X. For some reason I was neglecting X. That was a bad idea. I'm going to stop neglecting X now. At least a little bit, you know. And that'll work out. Thanks for watching. See you later.